Carlos Nelson with the Kansas City Business Association. This is our series on people that are running for political office right now: Kansas City School Board, Kansas City City Council, and Mayor. Tonight we have Kansas City School Board misstep, who's running for a Kansas City School District seat. Who do we have here?
My name is Ibrahim Ramsey, and I'm a write-in candidate for Sub-District 4.
What does Sub-District 4, tell our audience, what does that cover?
Sub-District 4 covers from Stadium Drive, where Pitcher is located, up 16th Street by Trailwoods and East Rogers, then over to Central Middle and Central High School. Then you also have Melcher, Carver. Then we finish the zone off with King and Purcell.
Tell our audience a little bit about yourself, who you are. Let them know who you are, where you went to school. Let's talk about grade school on up. Run it down.
So, I graduated from KCPS in 2010. My education started at King and Weeks Elementary when it was on 42nd in Indiana. Then I transferred to Carver Elementary, and at that time it was a magnet school for technology. Then I ended up going to Lincoln Prep for both middle school and high school.
What you do at Lincoln Prep? That's where I met you. That's where we came into contact. Run it down.
So I played football, basketball, track and field. Also, just focus on being a student and getting experiences through the school to really excel in life right now.
Tell our audience a little bit about your family, who you are, bro.
So my family, we are deeply rooted in KCPS. Both parents are currently teachers, and I have an older sibling that also graduated from Lincoln Prep, which is now a teacher in the school district also. So my whole family is deeply rooted by being teachers.
What your dad do?
My dad is a basketball coach, mentor coordinator. Then my mom, she's a kindergarten teacher and a mentor. My sister is a basketball coach and a mentor and a teacher, all in KCPS.
So you really have a real strong connection with the school district.
Yes. Also, my two little kids are in the school district. So when I say it's a passion for the school district, it really is.
Really family affair. All right. Tell our audience about some of the accomplishments that you've had in your public life.
So my biggest accomplishment is being a father that's actively involved in the schools. I started a nonprofit organization called UBuild KC Mentoring, where we mentor Head Start programs to create more father-friendly environments to get our fathers involved in the education. Then I also...
How important do you think that is specifically in the African American community?
I think it's very important. Research shows that when fathers are involved at a young age, kids are more likely to be successful in schools, graduate college, also get jobs where they're economically sound and sustain a lifestyle above the median income. So having a father involved is highly important for me. And with our community, there's not many fathers that's involved, or if they are, they're not getting enough praise.
All right. So a lot of the candidates, they have these different platforms, 5-point program, 3-point program. Do you have any specific platform that you're running on?
Yes, I would say my 5 points would be pre-K, making sure every kid has the opportunity to get the foundation for pre-K, because that is vital to being on.
How do you feel about that pre-K? Excuse me, audience. With the mayor is on one side of the coin and the district and the educators on the other. And I just had Mansour on the program and we talked about that. And that's really becoming a canker sore and a real point of division.
Right. Really pre-K is the foundation for education, and we know that all our kids that are at that level should be in an education facility that promotes them socially developed.
Have your kids had pre-K?
Yes. My
Boy, you hurry up.
yes, my kids started pre-K actually, so early childhood when they was 2 years old, both privately and public. So I would definitely say pre-K is a foundation for the education. I could say it helped my daughter develop social skills, but also be able to gain independence by learning how to deal with other kids. And also now she's a leader in the classroom. So education at a head start level is very important.
All right, so that's your first point. Run it down.
Then my second point is being a community ambassador. A lot of times in our community, our leadership is not connected to our community that we're leading. So for me, the biggest thing is being a community ambassador that's connected. So when I say I go support the kids at their basketball games, football games, just go visit the school, mentor in the school, I'm really connected to the kids. I've worked in the community with different organizations for kids that come before or after school, so I'm still connected to the kids. Then also a strong governance, allowing our superintendent.
That's number 3?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Number 3, the strong governance, allowing our superintendent the ability to make decisions because he is the expert at running schools and facilitating day-to-day operations for the education field.
How do you feel that the superintendent has performed thus far?
I would say he's doing a great job. It's been constant growth. I know our final destination will be full accreditation, but also having our kids learn skills that not just educate them, but educate them for life.
All right. What's your fourth?
My fourth point will be partnerships and collaborations. We know Kansas City is being developed, especially in the inner city area. And those are opportunities for us as the school district, but also as the community, to be able to build partnerships and get funding for our schools. I know, which is a big thing for our funding.
What do you think about TIP? I've asked most of the people about the TIP, and I will ask the other question. What do you think about TIP?
From what I hear, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very knowledgeable in it.
That's
but
me.
I can also learn about it. I know a lot of people are against it because it didn't directly put money.
It's
into
taking
our
money
community.
away from our school district and our library.
Right.
They're putting money on the plaza when 27 Prospect broke down.
Right.
You know.
So I can understand people being against it because it's taking away money from the areas that need it the most.
All right. And your fifth?
My fifth point is being connected, really just being connected as a community, building unity. So being able to be young and energized, but connected to our elders that are wise and giving us strength.
All right, tell me this. Do you think the district has used the technologies and the tools to communicate to the grassroots that are available?
I would say they are right now doing their best with the funding that they have for it. I know it's always room to improve, no matter how you look at things. Nobody is perfect. So I feel like they're doing a great job with the resources they have. We could...
See, I have some bias there in the way, and again, you've known me, audience, this man has known me since he was in high school, and when it comes to the show you're watching, he knows when we first really started this company.
Right.
And so, from that point of view, now I'm self-serving. Cascade, you know that how we did all the games and,
right.
and all of that. And when I'm saying that gives exposure to our district, gives exposure to our athletes.
Right.
And the district really never really worked with us on anything. And to me, resources there that is totally being underutilized for whatever reason. And I think there are a lot of resources, not just with Cascade, that we're not using to promote what we need to promote. And from a digital perspective, partnerships, how I see the district the district will see something like Cascade Sports or What's Up Kansas City or something else. And instead of them partnering with someone that has expertise in doing this, and we talk to other candidates about this, the district will try to take your idea and then make it happen with the district. It'll never happen. You played sports. Was there sport network anywhere comparable to anything that you could go look at really and see what was going on in sports, like a Cascade Sports or some other entities?
At the time, I would say the biggest competitor for that was Metro Sports.
Right.
And that was the only one that I known of.
And were they serving our district, really?
Every blue moon.
Right. And so that's the point I'm making. I use my personal experience, but there are a lot of partnerships that the district can enter in that will show fruit and benefit not only our kids, but all of Kansas City. And with having that digital connection, the real digital connection, people around the country see what great works we're doing in our district. And I think the district has got to do a much better job at communicating to the grassroots people and creating partnerships that's a win for the district, win for the partner, and win for the community. You know, how do you feel about it?
I would definitely agree with that. From my own personal experience, being involved in the schools, there are a lot of things you have to do to be involved. Filling out a lengthy application to be a mentor and volunteer, which I've done. And also just being able to go through the process to be a partnership. They want you to be an established organization or business that they could see sustain the partnership. And that also could be a hindrance when it comes to small business owners and, for example, black-owned businesses. That could be a hindrance, but they could still have the skills.
That's what I talked to Mansour about, and most of them, I was like, why do I have to be an MBE to do business with the school district? Do the majority community got to say, oh, I'm white, and I've got to prove that I'm white, and you got to look at where I bank to show that I'm white. And I'm like, so I can't do business with you unless I fill out MBE. So does that sound like that's trying to help me, or does that sound like that's trying to hinder me? And what you, boy, you keenly aware, you said a lot of times this paperwork will prohibit you from doing anything.
Right. I've been in several forums where the community has spoken out about being an alumni from schools and not being able to go back to your school and give back, which is very important for me, being an alumni of Lincoln Prep. I see how big Lincoln Prep is doing right now. Girls winning or coming in.
You see we cover them.
Right.
You see your dad gives his coaches association, hey, Lincoln, Southeast, we need to be covering our kids.
Right. So for me, being an alumni of Lincoln, I could see the positive of going back, but Lincoln is taken care of. It's about the other schools that don't have that strong alumni.
We hit that on that last interview. Lincoln, excuse me, Lincoln is being taken care of. Everyone is proud of Lincoln. If you're a Kansas City, and even if you a proponent of charter schools, you're gonna hang your hat on Lincoln. Lincoln is one of the top schools in this nation.
Right.
And so they're somewhat taken care of. And how are we taking care of our other schools? And another subject that I broach with everyone else is our sports programs. And by you being an athlete and you having firsthand experience, these other schools, they have 3-4 gyms.
Right.
At Lincoln, when I used to come to your practice, you got the cheerleaders in the gym, you got the basketball team in the gym, you got what's the name with the girls? Give her a plug.
Miss Golston.
Got Miss Golston, been at Lincoln Prep ever since it was built, doing a hell of a job with them young ladies. And I'm saying, you competing against the Lee Summit Wests, the Lee Summits, the the Oak Parks or this, and they have 2-3 gyms and their facilities. Where do you see the Kansas City School District? And I see that they're doing some things now about stadiums or whatever.
From my experience, I could say, compared to those suburban schools like Blue Springs South or Lee Summit, our schools wouldn't necessarily be in the same boat due to the funding. You know, it's they concentrate their funding on. I think Blue Springs maybe have 2 or 3 high schools, so it's a lot easier for them to get funding. But also, when it comes to the athletics in our school, we just had the natural ability. I know Lincoln Prep got a decent weight room after I left in 2010.
Right, but the point I'm making, and I didn't go there with you, because I talk about the downtown council and I talk about the leadership and the investment of the corporate community. See, and I don't know whether you've given this any thought, but some of the other members that we've interviewed and people in the know, you know, if the Kansas City School District was working right, there wouldn't be no Johnson County School District, because you have that district because people move there. They don't want their kids to have bad education. Either young professionals move here and they send their kids the high rent downtown, and then you got to send your kid to a private school. They rather just move to the suburbs, have good schooling. And so where I'm at with the corporate community in our district, they need to really be creating and putting pressure on the corporations to do their fair share of investment in our kids in the urban core.
Right, and I agree. One of the candidates that's also running, he mentioned about property taxes, developmentors or development companies get a tax break, which is hindering the money funding.
That's what, like you didn't know a lot about the tip. That's what all of that's about. That it's going on the plaza instead of going on 27th and Prospect. Right. And if we have good representation, they will put teeth into legislation and policies that will curb that. And being a representative of your community, are you willing to speak up on the behalf of the average guy, not the corporate community that you might can get a little something here, but the people that's eating the cornflakes and milk in the morning?
I'm definitely energized and positively ready to step up and speak for our community. I haven't done it in the past because I didn't know how. But I still worked in the community and did what I could.
Ibrahim, I'm telling you, you amazing me. I've been knowing you since you was a teenager, and I think that you are really blossoming into a responsible adult. I'm serious. You know, you've come to my office a couple times, and I'm like, man, I'm not trying to really hear all of that, but I'm more show me. And I've been watching you just over the last 2 months. And watching what you've been involved, not what you're saying, what you've been involved in. And I think this is truly something in your heart, and you come from a family that has given back to the community, that really understands the community. And with your father's position, working with the court system, working with a lot of teenagers that don't have families, and as I was saying to Patty, how when I had taken my fall and you was in high school and y'all used to bring me food. I'm saying whatever I needed. Your sister used to rent the movies for me at the McDonald's because I didn't even have no credit card or nothing. And those are the type of things that if I ever was going to endorse somebody, I know what y'all are made of. And since I've been in Kansas City, I really have never, and I've been here since 70, I've really never endorsed the candidate or put my name on anything. But I'm here to say that I'm endorsing Ibrahim from a Cascade Media point of view, and I know that I have the community's interest. I don't care what nobody else say. And if you have the community's interests at hand, this is a gentleman that I would employ you to vote for. Do you have anything that you want to let our audience know?
Yes. Just to the audience, I want you to really think about the people that's been in place. It's been, you could say, came from a similar background, having different degrees, being named a doctor.
That don't mean nothing.
Being a lawyer, things like that. But we haven't really made true progress because we still think the same. And it's time for a younger person that has the longevity and the passion for our community to speak up for our community, but also has the fight in them. And that's what I have.
I like that. You know what? That falls in the philosophy of really how the world works. Who's in the army? Who do they send to battle? They send the young people. You talked about the value of older people and their wisdom earlier in the conversation. And the older people guide the young people if they're brought up right. They're not thinking about self.
Right.
They're saying, you don't know it all, son. If you're willing to listen, where you was going to make that right turn, I'll tell you you need to make the left. And if you're willing to listen, you'll say, I want to make right, but elders saying I should go left. And that's something that I really can appreciate in you.
And I know Common has a song called Glory. And in his song, he states that a war can't be won individually, but with the energy of the young and the wisdom of the elders, and that's where I stand. So I look towards my advisors and the elders for really keeping me in line on policy, but I had the energy and the drive to really go in and fight the battles to say we need that change.
How well do you feel you are at building coalitions? Because in politics or anything, building that coalition that makes things work in the environment that you are entering in.
I would say I'll probably be on a scale 70%. Just because everything is new to me, I've always tried to do things on my own. When I say I want to do something, I make sure I'm the forefront in doing it first.
Investing in your own
idea. Right. Before I try to bring somebody else in. People believe in the why. So I try to explain the things that I do positively and why it means so much so that other people could get involved. And I've been, since this process started, of becoming a candidate, looking into how to become a better public speaker to get people on board to help with.
You building your skill set?
Yes, sir.
All right. How do you look at yourself, and do you even amaze yourself when you look at where you came from and what was on your mind when you got out of high school and what's on your mind now? Tell our audience a little bit about that, because I reveal myself sometimes. I'll be like, how did you get in this space, Carlos?
You know, the biggest thing for me is what I'm doing now. As a kid, I decided I wanted to be a family man due to my father being a highly active part and seeing the things he did in the community. So I told myself I want to be like him, but do it to a better
another level.
And that's how I look at it.
This program is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association.